Hey guys, hope you're all having a fantastic day out there, and thanks for joining us in this cool video. You might have noticed this guest here, which you might have never seen before. This is Kevin Canoe, local guitar legend and local guitar teacher. He taught a lot of people, including myself. In fact, he was my very first guitar teacher. And he also taught the bald shredder, which you guys know as Richard James, right? Speaking of that, how old was Richard when he took lessons from you?
He was like early teens, like 13 or something. He's pretty young.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how long have you been teaching guitar?
Oh gosh, since late 70s.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. What, do you remember what year it was when I started taking lessons with you?
Oh, that's a good question. Was it like early 2000s or I'm thinking around there.
Wow, that's weird to think, man. But yeah, so over the years, Kevin's really done some really crazy like overhand stuff. I've always been tripped out on it because I can never play like overhand like you do with the tapping stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can barely do overhand. It's very like mediocre stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So just so people can get an idea of what we're talking about, can you give like a little demonstration of that?
Yeah, and I'll explain it too, whatever, so that way people can kind of start working on it, and it's not that hard once you get things mapped out. Like I'm sure everybody knows straight old C chord, okay? So what I'm going to take it, slide up here where it becomes like an A, okay? So that'll be the position there, and then like you have your A power chord here. So you remember this chord, A power chord, okay? So what you can do is you can take and hold those two notes from that A chord. So if I slow it down, just, and you can do different. You can finger it different ways that way. When you're doing these, like that's a good one to practice too. You can just do that in that same area where you have the A chords. So you have the octave. And the song Vampire Castle, I wrote was like. You can see what's going on there. I'm doing that with the A minor, and it looks like this is actually an F here, like from the F chord. So I'm thinking of the chord here, my shapes and the notes that are there, and then I have the right hand here, which is staying on the A. So you're thinking like octaves, you're thinking of the chord shapes, whatever. And a lot of it's just standard like bar chords, whatever, octaves, and sometimes you might like that A chord like that I use, whatever. But that's how a lot of it's pieced together. You can like those. Now it's having to go to an E chord there. That's just like that chord, moved over. So it's just standard chords. And you can and just change, go to A minor, see just one little minor shift there, and then now you have A minor. Little scale pattern there, but you're just taking the standard chords and you're just delegating some notes to your left hand, some to the right hand. Let's see this
one. That's crazy cool, man.
It sounds cool, yeah, and you see it's not really that hard. You just map out your basic scale, just like here you're just taking the D chord, which I'm doing, making suspension. And you just slow that down.
That's awesome. awesome, man. So, what inspired you to like do more of this overhand stuff? Like, what really drove you to doing this technique that you do now?
Okay. I started on piano. That was my first instrument, and my mom was a piano teacher, so I was always working on piano stuff because of her, and everything, and I got into tapping because Eddie Van Halen, later on, and I actually did see him do a couple riffs where he went overhand like that, and I go, well, that's cool. I go, I think you could do more with that, or do some, piano-like stuff, 'cause I knew he'd played piano too. So I started experimenting. I go, it's not that hard to map it out and just, come up with just good triads and different things and stuff. So since I had that piano background, it kind of gave me the, desire to like, I'll try it on guitar, see if it works,
Definitely innovative. I think that's really cool.
Oh, thanks.
Reminds me of like not entirely, but similar to like Stanley Jordan does like the Tibble hand thing, or like other YouTubers like Tori Slusher does that kind of similar like double hand style.
Yeah.
So like, how long did it take you? Maybe not very long, but how long did it take you to get used to doing this overhand on the guitar?
After I started, I'd say a few months. Yeah, it didn't take that long, really. At first it did feel awkward at first, I admit, but then after a while it's like, okay. Then I got a little more, more used to doing it, and after a few months I had, some wrist down things,
Wow, that's pretty amazing, man. But I guess, having that piano background must have helped, right?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Now, when you do this a lot, like you're doing a lot of overhand stuff, does it ever feel weird, like playing normal now, or is it?
Not really. I mean, like if I'm doing a riff, like I'll pause on a note there to get it, gives me time to change my hand position, do like so.
That's awesome, man. I like that. That's really cool.
Oh, thanks.
And it sounds really classical in nature too. Is that your kind of goal, to make it more?
Yeah. Now you can do jazz and blues stuff. I mean, you can, So you can do the rock thing with the bending and stuff, and you can do jazzier stuff, with different chords and stuff. But I do more of the classical thing just because it's so pattern oriented. Like we do your triads. I've done a lot of classical piano too, whatever.
Wow.
But I do the rock thing, and you can. Things like that stuff.
Okay, that's killer. I can see how that could be really useful for people that want to do like a lot of counterpoint stuff, because then you have more range, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
You're doing two hands of them to be like this with one hand.
Oh yeah, exactly. And if you're doing compositions where you want like a part that like be kind of like a keyboard, this is a really good way to go. And you can just. Stuff for riffs, whatever. So, but that works real good. You can do like the ribbon thing there. And you can work the bass, stuff. If you want to do.
Like that.
Yeah, the classical stuff, yeah.
That is killer.
And that's just an octave here, and then.
awesome, man. That is so cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I could ever do that, but it inspires me to try.
Yeah, definitely give it a try. And just you just gotta maybe work with. And kind of put stuff together.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's just based off the octave and then your chord. And you can slow it down there. It sounds pretty cool. You get very rhythmic with it. So since I play piano, of course that helps, you know, everything. But you can really fly that because you got that kind of rhythm that goes into it. You just slow it down for
Kill it, man. That is awesome.
No, thanks.
You have a channel, so people can go check out more of your videos. So what is that channel?
It's Kevin the Guitar Titan. Yeah, Kevin the Guitar Titan.
Okay.
And, yeah.
I'll put the link down below in the description box so you guys can check it out. Go check out Kevin's videos. Go sub to his channel. Give him some love, man. I think the last thing we'll do is, a jam session and then just kind of trade some licks and see what happens, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's do it.